Hello, how are you? Welcome to Hey Han. I'm your host, Hannah Fletcher, and today I will be speaking with the lovely Yindra Zayas. Stay tuned. We are joined by the beautiful Yindra. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, my name is Yindra Zayas. I am an actress, cinematographer, podcaster, anything basically photographer, like anything in the creative bubble, I most likely do it.
You mentioned that you have a podcast, and we were just talking about this before we started shooting. So I would love to pick your brain and hear about your podcast. You have the floor. Go for it.
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on your podcast. And my podcast is basically, it's called Opinionated Opinions. It's exclusively on Spotify. And it's basically a safe space for people to just talk about opinions and, just hear other people's point of view. Because I know a lot of times people tend to be very narrow-minded and only listen to their points, and they don't want to hear anything else. And it's just supposed to be able for everybody to just, start a conversation, but also make it safe. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I like that. I like that you're offering a source solely for opinions like that. And I like that you're going in recognizing that. And I think it's going to be really interesting, like you said, to have other people listen to something that is different than their walk of life. And that's what they're going to be tuning into you for. So I think that's really neat that you're creating that space, because I think we have platforms that offer people's opinions and people take the opportunity to offer them. But I really think that it's interesting that you're creating a platform solely for that. I'm really curious to see how that's going to take and land. I think that you're really onto something there.
It gets controversial, but it's cool. That's the whole point of it.
For sure. Great. What gave you the idea to come up with this podcast in the first place?
Well, if any of my friends know that I talk way too much, and I love talking. I love hearing people's opinions of things. That's also where the name rooted from. I love being able to express myself too. And I to be honest, I like hearing myself talk. So I created a podcast. It's like a win-win situation where I love having conversations like that. I love being the devil's advocate and being like, oh, well, what about this? Or what about that? It's always interesting to hear people's different points of view. And I wanted to hear it, and I wanted to see it. And I'm glad I did it, because I don't regret it at all.
That's awesome. I love that you said that you love to hear yourself talk. In a way, don't we all to a certain extent have to kind of love to hear ourselves talk, because we play back the footage if you're doing all of the editing yourself, which hello, it's very much like you have to enjoy it to some extent. Otherwise it really does become a job, and then it's not necessarily a passion project anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for real. I completely agree.
Definitely. And you also mentioned that you're in the creative space in so many other ways. You're an actress. You also have a YouTube channel. I kind of want to talk about your YouTube channel first, and then I want to press on to you being an actress, and I'll ask you about that. But first of all, I want to say congratulations. You have over 4,000 subscribers. That's really admirable. And
I always think it's such a small number compared to people that I strive to, not necessarily be, but oh, I want to, but I'm like, if you put 4,000 people in one room, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
So I don't look at it like that as often as I should, but thank you.
Yeah, of course. You really should take some recognition for that and keep going. Your thumbnails are very catchy. I've been so interested in the marketing side of things. You're beautifully crafted on your YouTube channel. I think it's just a matter of time before it even takes off further. What kind of inspiration do you draw from in order to create your content? I know YouTube is such a trick. I could talk about YouTube for hours.
It is. It's a whole nother
Definitely. Where do you come up with your ideas? Do you have any creative challenges that arise when it comes to making content for your channel?
When I first started it, I really started just because I don't think about the money. I just literally think because I like making videos. I like filming things, and I feel like it was just a creative outlet. Whether it was fashion. I remember when I was younger, I was really into fashion, and I really loved vlogs, and I was really I can do this. I remember just watching old school YouTubers, and I used to be like, I can do this. I know I can do it. And then one day I made it. And then I fell off for a little bit because, you get discouraged when you don't see the amount of people that you expect to see. You just think that you blow up overnight. And then I came back to it. And then now I'm being more consistent with it. But it's definitely just I just pull from all different kind of creative spaces. One day I'll vlog. One day it's let me do some fashion. And one day, I think the trick is just genuinely liking what you do and what you put out. Because I know a lot of times people can feel like consistency over like quality, you know what I mean? And they forget that like you want your stuff to be like coming from you.
Exactly. And speaking to that, I have such a mixed opinion when it comes to the idea of staying in your lane with content. I think that you can make your own things to a certain degree. Like for me personally, I've never identified with anything relating to fashion. I love watching those videos, but it's something that I've never personally been interested in. Like my idea of like a cute outfit's like a leather jacket, some booties, and some jeans and go. You know,
and that is fashion.
I guess so. Yeah. But I feel like that's kind of where it begins and ends with me though. Like I can dress cute enough to like fit into the room, but as far as like getting bold and daring and everything, that's never really been in my wheelhouse. But it's interesting that you bring up the idea of consistency. And I like that you aren't putting yourself in a box. That's my point, because I feel like it's so easy to get stuck when you're in a box, you know?
It is. And society will make you feel that way too. Not even just with YouTube or creativity, just in general. Like they're like, oh, you're specifically doing this one thing, so now you got to stick with it. It's like, and it's just totally unfair. You know, I feel like, especially if you're creative, if you're already in the creative industry and you're a creative person, it doesn't hurt to do whatever you want. You know, if I want to be a singer, I might not be the greatest singer in the world, but I'm going to try it out and see what happens. You know, it just all depends, you know?
Yeah, you have to try your hand and see what sticks too. That's the other thing. You have to try something out and then see if you like it. I've been given advice before where people are like, oh, you know, that's cute what you're doing, or you're making content like this, but you should try it like this. And it's like, okay. But then if I go to switch, then I feel like, I don't know, I'm listening to somebody else. It's not coming from my authentic.
Exactly. And I also have to do that with the way like I talk, because I felt like a lot of the times, like, to be relatable, like I was like, oh my God, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Da, da, da. And it's like, no, girl, I can talk like, hey, what's up? Welcome back. It's the like, and it makes you feel like you're putting on this persona, because when the cameras are rolling, you feel like you're being judged in every part. Like I feel like I'm being more judged by people that know me than don't. So like it's easier to be myself, like with people who don't know me. And then when people see me like from the outside looking in, they're like, that's not how she, you know what I mean? It's just different. It's like, it's that fear of like, I don't know, people that you know.
Well, it's like a mask. And then this can kind of segue into the whole realm of questions that I have for you for acting. But one of the things that, and you can understand because you created a podcast, you have one that's your baby, just like this is my baby. One of the things that I was most, I don't want to say fearful about, because I wasn't fearful about anything going into this, but one of the things that I took into consideration rather was the idea that there's nothing being removed. When you're playing a character, there, if somebody doesn't like you, there's a 50-50 shot that they don't like the character before they don't like you. Here, being on a podcast, it's like if people don't like you, then they just don't like you. There's no buffer.
Yep. Yeah. Oh wow. I didn't think about it like that. That's very like straightforward and blunt, but it's true. Because you're putting yourself out there for people to just be like, you know?
For sure. And in terms of acting, how long have you been acting? You've done it for a decent amount of time. I was looking at your IMDb. You've had some really neat projects. I'd love to pick your brain and hear all of your acting experiences, anything that you want to share.
I've been acting since I was 5. It sounds so cliche, like, oh my God, like I did theater when I was 5 and I fell in love. But it's so true. Like everything about it is like that's completely what happened. And then it wasn't until like I was in high school where I was like, okay, I went to performing arts school, took it very seriously for 4 years, and then I jumped out of college and said, Mom, I'm moving to LA. Bye. And they were very supportive, and I moved out here, and my first role was Girl Meets World on Disney Channel. And that was so interesting because at the time I was playing like a 13-year-old and I was 19, and I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah. So everybody would be like, yeah, like, so everybody would be like, oh, Yindra, what'd you do over the weekend? And here I am with, I just went to a UCLA party. And I was like, oh, you know, it was like things like that where it was just like, oh, this is so like weird. But because that was like my first professional like job where like it was multicam, you know, the director, everybody was telling me, you know, action. So yeah, then I did that, and you know, over time it progressed, and I did, you know, Sharp Objects, and the most recent thing I've done was Grey's Anatomy, which was really fun. And that was like, I don't watch it. My friends killed me because they were like, what? And I didn't I didn't know anything. So like it was good to like when I got on set, I didn't really react to any of the actors because I really didn't know them. except for
That's okay though. Honestly, I personally think that there's some beauty in not completely knowing everything about what you get cast in. Even I've had opportunities to interview some people of really nice calibers, and I purposefully don't try to research them if I have the opportunity to find out who it is, like 2 to 3 days in advance. I try not to research who it is until after. And then I fangirl. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, who did I just talk to? You know?
right. No, because it does, it makes a whole like different. I mean, I've recognized one because I play a lot of video games, so that's a whole nother story. Because I'm a gamer. But yeah, The Sims. Okay, let's stop. Let's go back.
You do it all. You do it all. That's why you're here.
But yeah. So I feel like when I only knew one person doing that, and it was just it was a different environment, and I felt like that was my first time actually having to like it was like Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy was 2-episode crossover, and so that was the first time I actually had to cry like on camera, like physically, like, and then for some reason my eyes, like when you have 60 people just watching you like this, that is so freaking nerve-wracking, and they're like action. And it's like, you know, you're doing this emotional scene and you have to get it out with no music. Keep in mind, like the music isn't playing in the background.
So true. They put that in post, man. There's
exactly. It's awkward in real life. It's really freaking awkward. You got to just sit there and like do it. And it's just like, so that was like my most challenging moment, because it was pretty like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. But I finished it and everybody's like, oh my God. And I'm like, is everybody doing that to be nice to me, or did I really do a good job? So it was like one of those things, but it was cool. It was definitely like a memorable moment because I got to be like on an iconic show, because they went like 18 seasons. I would love to be on a show that went 18 seasons. Are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot.
You really need to do nothing else. You'd be set.
No, you're done. You're done. Like you're done. Literally the TikTok sound, you're done.
Exactly. Enjoy your house up on the hills.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Everybody's paid. Everybody's good to go. Yeah, everybody was really cool and very humble, because I talked to people about being like paparazzi'd and stuff, and they were like, yeah, like it's, you know, it happens, but you know, sometimes fans go a little too far, and yeah, they were telling me some crazy stories. I was like, wow, I just want to act. You know, I don't want I don't mind the fame, but I don't care for like that whole paparazzi thing. I just, you know, I want to do what I love and get paid for it.
That's literally my definition of success personally, is like utilizing your skill set and being able to make money doing what you love to do. That's like bare bones definition, in my opinion, of success and happiness too. I feel like
exactly, because the life of like people following you around, that sounds exhausting. And that sounds like I need to like be able to do, I want to do stuff. You know what I mean? I want people to recognize. It's kind of like Rachel McAdams. Everyone knows who she is, but nobody is like going out her way trying to paparazzi her. Or like Viola Davis, everyone knows who she is, but like, when have you ever seen her on the front cover of like paparazzi magazine? Or she's obviously on magazines, but I'm saying like as far as like people wanting to know so much about her life specifically. Yeah.
Interesting. I honestly wonder if the paparazzi doesn't just come with I don't know though. I feel like there's people that get paparazzi that aren't controversial. So I don't know what really indicates somebody being truly paparazzi'd.
That whole world just scares me. So I wouldn't, yeah. No. I feel like the first time I get paparazzi, I'll be like, do I have a stalker? I would literally like, I couldn't even.
No. Oh my gosh, that would freak me out. I did actually see, I went for a run the other day and I saw some guys dressed in all black running up with a camera to somebody's house. And I was just running and I just looked and I like started muttering to myself,
whose house is that?
Like, what are you doing? And then I was also kind of like, I got running shoes on. Maybe can I come? Like, can I just peek and just see what's going on?
Right. They might be like, yeah, because that's crazy.
But it's so intrusive, the idea of it being on somebody's property like that. That's your home. It's one thing, fair game if you're in Target and somebody sneaks a photo, you know, that stinks. You're just trying to live your life and get your chicken. But at the same time, you know, fair game.
And why people are like, why celebrities are always angry when they're being paparazzi. It's like, because you're in their space. They're trying to chill. So yeah,
they're always on. They're trying to be off.
Yeah, that's why I have a love hate. I like, well, not love hate, but that's why I love acting, is because a part of me can be like, this is my character, and then this is me. You know, I can separate myself, and people can fall in love with a character, and then I can still be me at the same time. You know, Zendaya was recently saying something like that, and I felt I really resonated with that. I was like, okay, because I can get a little bit of a breather. It's like, okay, fall in love with this character, but then also but then, you know, you get so big and you still get paparazzi. So I guess it doesn't matter.
If you had to provide any advice to yourself, and this could be in terms of from an acting standpoint, from from even hosting, what would that advice be? Or like if you have like a mantra or anything like that? And let's say you're providing this to like your 15-year-old self. I feel like everybody has a time when they're 15. It's not necessarily bad, it's not necessarily fantastic, but you could provide anything to yourself, what would it be?
Tell myself, stop caring what people think. Literally, stop caring what people think of you. Like, it sounds so corny because it's like you hear it all the time, but no, seriously, like I feel like every age, or any age, anybody, you can literally take that and resonate with you, because like being in a society, we care so much about what people think all the time. Like, we don't even realize how much people have a chokehold on us. And it's like if I would have just told myself, like, hey, just do you, and just like not care what people think, because at the end of the day, people are gonna have their own perceived notions about you, and they're already gonna think what they want. Just do it. Just do it. Just literally do it. The amount of times that I've been held back from doing something that I wanted to do was because of the fear base of other people allowing them to get to me. And it shouldn't be like that. Definitely, yeah, that would be like the biggest thing, is like stop caring. It's even in my bio. Like, it's on my YouTube channel, on my banner. And it's like, because I take that quote so seriously, because it's important. It can literally, your outlook on life and your life can be completely different if you don't care what other people think of you.
Definitely. And it's such a liberating thing when you can get to a point where I feel like the idea is stop caring what other people think. You're never going to get to a point where you flat out just don't care. I don't think.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not, like, because this point,
It's so good to continue to remind yourself and to continue to strive towards that, because once you get to a certain point, honestly, I think it comes when you're out of school. I said it. I really do. I think it's
high school is brutal. High school, middle school, elementary, it's brutal.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and for just chatting with me. This was a really great conversation. I'm so glad that we had this opportunity to meet. And seriously, I'm wishing you all the best of luck. Anytime you have any upcoming project or anything like that, please come back, promote, talk to me about it. I will always come up with questions.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I appreciate you for having me. I'm glad that you're doing this, and I love seeing. A part of me always is like, oh, we shouldn't like put women in the front, like in front of every like success, because it's like it should be normalized. Mm-hmm. But like, I do love seeing women going out there and doing the damn thing. So I really appreciate you for doing this, and also for having me on.
Absolutely. And same to you. And I'm wishing you all the best and keep in touch. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you everybody for watching the wonderful conversation between Yindra and I. Thank you, Yindra, for coming on the show. You are so wonderful, and it was a blessing to have such a great conversation with you. So thank you once again. My message to my viewers is as follows for the week. Be sure that you guys are articulating your goals, your thoughts, your dreams, what it is you're looking to do. Because when we put something in motion and when we articulate what it is that we're thinking, what we want to do, we're manifesting. And I understand that this idea of manifestation has kind of come around within the past few years in full force, and a lot of people kind of associate it with like a different type of mindset. But it's not really a different type of mindset. It's something that we all tend to do as humans, and it's something that's very necessary. So make sure that you are articulating, honestly, authentically, what it is that you're after. If you're looking to have your own show, start telling people. If you are looking to have a beautiful relationship in which you find a partner that brings out the best in you and provides so much happiness for you, then start dating people that you know are potential suitors to fit that future. Whatever the case is, make sure that you guys are telling others so others can hold you accountable, and so they can keep you in line with how you can achieve and reach your goals. Because everybody can achieve and reach their goals. It's just a matter of your mindset, mind over matter. So articulate what it is that you're after. Because life is too short to hint, and life is too short to nudge and be timid and, oh, maybe not right now, or, oh, next time, I'll get them next time. Life's too short. Get on yourself and get on what it is you want to do. Be articulate, be expressive, and make things happen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, God bless, and I will see you through the screen. Bye, guys.